What's up, pups? How's everybody doing? What's up, Tripod? Good Friday. What's up, PulseChain AP? Making me blush. Bit Finesse, what's happening, brother? Good to see you. What's up, Beach Whale? That's right, beat it. Beat that like button. What's up, Crypto Dan? What's up, Data Dev? Good to see everybody. How's it going? Let's get into these charts and see what's going on. What's up, Tripod? What's up, Lunacy Gang? Lunacy Point. Hey, gang. What's up, Moondog? As it is humidity times a million today in Prague. Like, wow. It's not even hot. It's just so humid. It's crazy. What's up, HDB? What's going on? What's Expedition? What's up? All right, let's just get in here. Let's see what's happening. All right. KD, what's happening? Good to see you. Let's go to BTC. Okay, look at that. Here we are. Let's see what's going on. So we have come right up to this resistance line. This resistance line was going all the way back to December of 2024. That's this line right here, okay? And I have some more confluence with some other lines as well. Let me see if I can find that chart. Here you go. So this line is going all the way back from the 2021 bull run. Okay. I just put lines. I think it got moved slightly from bounced around, but you guys get the point, right? So we got a line here. Okay. And that is going to be around 115. Okay. So that's where I get that 115 number. It goes all the way back to 2021, all the way to here. Really simple stuff, guys. Nothing complicated at all. I haven't pulled any fibs. I haven't done anything. Just drawing lines. Okay. Now, the midline for this channel we've been in since 2022, okay, this chart I've been using for a year. The midline here is about 130-ish, okay, depending on, let's say we hit it at the end of summer. All right, so let's go back to where we are now. So we got confluence there at 115. You saw that other chart, and then we've got this line here, which is the lines on the peaks of the moves we've been making here in the last few months, okay? So we got a lot of resistance between 113 and 115. So we're at 113.6. That's really great. So my target was 113.5 to 115, okay? So let's go to the smaller time frame and see what's going on. Okay, so, I mean, we're looking good. Nothing wrong at all. We're looking great. I don't know why volume's not coming in on these charts. It's kind of weird. You guys hear me okay? It's being so damn quiet. Hello, 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 hello. It's raining down. A little bit of music. What's up, Philly? Think of all these flash floods happening in America. I think it's the cloud seeding. I think it's summer weather, and then they're amplifying it. Do you understand? So they have the power to amplify things right now to work in their favor, right? And by causing chaos, they're overloading you. They're completely overloading the population, all right? So you guys become extraordinarily malleable. Half you guys will check out. The other half will be just stressed beyond belief, and then and then they can start to move you guys in the direction they want. All right? That was always the plan. That's what's going on. And then they're going to, you know, confligate that with people wanting to buy property, moving people into certain areas they want, clearing out rural areas. They don't want you in rural areas. The last few preppers left will be taken out with drones, or they'll just go find you, or, you know, whatever it is. That's why I always thought that was stupid, you know, being a prepper running out there in the woods. Where are you going to go, dude? They got drones. They got fleets of drones. plan is in motion. These don't change overnight. People are too checked out. They're too stressed out. They're too checked out, and now they've made everybody broke. So it's a lot of things coming together. I think this has been a long time in the making, culturally as well. If you notice, the movies the last 5 years have all been like Civil War, no hero saves the day endings anymore. They've all been very nihilistic type movies. We had years of zombie films and all that. So they've already seeded the brains of the country for years now. All the girls that were washed away were children of politicians. What? No. Come on, man. It's sad. It was just a bunch of kids, man. It's like 8 and 9 year olds or something like that. It's really sad. I don't know if that's like a Target thing or it just happens to be they were doing this and those kids just got caught up. I don't know, but it's really sad. And hurricane season starting, so who knows what they're gonna do with that, right? How they're gonna steer that one. But anyway, we're at 113.5. We pulled back. This is exactly what we were talking about over the last few days in all the sessions we were doing. Here's 115 target right here, 114.2, but this line's not in stone. It's about 115 something. And my target's hit. So I'm suspecting a pullback, not a end of the world crash, just like a juicy pullback, but especially if we're going to go to 130, but you never know. I mean, maybe we just push up from here to 130. Now, once again, for you guys just joining, the 130 was that midline of my channel I've had since 2022. It's also, I think, the 1.4 fib, okay? So there is confluence for this target, but you can see right there, 130,666 on July 25th. If we were to hit it, it'd be 130,666. And this line's been running since 2022, so it's an important line. Now, the top of this channel, I've talked about before, is around 180, depending on where we hit it, so that's where I get that number from. Weather warfare, 100%. Yeah, 100%. 100%. Controlled weather modification season, yeah. Catching alive, damn. Goddess, good to have you. Yeah, I jumped on early when I saw us breaking 112. I wanted to get on. This is better for me. I'm in an odd zone. There's not a lot of you guys out in my zone. You guys are either a lot after me or way before me. And going to bed every night at 4 or 5 in the morning last year was rough. So, all right, let's see what's going on ETH. ETH was looking strong too. Oh, somebody asked about, what did you ask? XRP Bank? What is XRP Bank? I have no idea what that is. Tim Crane, welcome to the show. XRP breaks, XRP Bank. Tim Crane, give us a link or give me some more context. What's XRP Bank? What is that? Goddess Garden Gal. Yeah, it is a cool screen name. I like it. What's up, William Dugan? Yeah, I agree. I think you got it, man. A month or two away. You notice that, we'll go look at that chart right now. Oh, where is it? I'll come right back to this ETH thing, but we are at resistance once again. We're at 28.31. We've been here before and been rejected, so let's see what happens. So you notice we're not moving, right? We're just sitting because it doesn't make sense for for market makers to move PulseChain right now, right? Because you want to allow people that want to rotate into Bitcoin or ETH or Solana to go ahead and go and rotate. So allowing people to leave, whoever has FOMO right now, who's like, oh shit, and they're gonna go make trades over it here. Solana's breaking out a little bit too. So you want those people to go ahead and it's just getting some green. Not that big a deal. Still under some important moving averages and under quite a bit of resistance on Solana as well. You want them to go ahead and sell their bag and jump over on ETC or ETH or whatever to catch that trade. So it makes sense. We're always in your vibe though. They want to have a bank in New York. Okay, really? An XRP bank? Why would they need a bank? Why would XRP need a bank? And if they had a bank, why would they need a token? I'm curious. I really am curious. Why would XRP need a bank? Just waiting for macro cycle to play out. Then it's our turn. Yeah, I agree with you. The Bitcoiners have to start feeling really rich before the rotation starts. Oh, fair enough. Yeah, right now everyone in BTC is still apprehensive of this rally. If that was the case, then that would be a good time for them to punch it up harder. Apprehensive. You think so? I feel like everybody's super bullish. I feel like people just can't wait. 113. Drop down to 4 hour. Let's see. Yeah, it's all right. It's not. Get a little more music. It's a response to the Genius Act. Ripple is partnering with a bank to custody their stablecoin. Oh, interesting. Okay, because they're going to have their own stablecoin. Old Glory Blank lets you go directly in and out of PulseChain through Oxcoast. Works awesome. Cool. Onboarding, etc., centralization. Okay. So what were you asking about it? You were asking, what do I think? You know, I think it's fine. Like, you know, especially if you're an XRP holder, you know, it's going to spread awareness and it would be good. There's no secret. I mean, you know, XRP is institutional friendly. It's, you know, it's not trying to be the rebel in crypto or the cyberpunk fantasy dream. It is what it is, right? And for what it is, I guess that is in alignment with what they are. And if you're with them, you know, you're okay with that. Yeah. Centralization, onboarding. I don't see any problems with it. If price go up, it's good, right? More people get onboarded, it's good. It's good for XRP. Not XRP, but Ripple partnering with bank. Okay. Yeah, there is a difference. People don't know. Volume, keep going here. We're at 113. So not much to look at on PulseChain right now. I'm going to go ahead and look at, let's see what oil is doing right now. Oil is doing a little dumpy poo. Doesn't make sense for this to fall off a cliff during summer, but I know that Trump is really aggressively trying to stimulate, so maybe this makes sense. Have we ever dumped into the summer before? Where else did we dump in a summer? Did we dump here? This was from May to July, and we dumped into August. Yeah, I guess so. I guess it wouldn't be a big deal. It's happened before. Okay, hit my resistance line as well on S&P. Look, everybody dumps all the time. Everybody. Anyone in a chain, any founder, anywhere, that's how they make money, man. They have bags, just like you and I have bags, and they sell them. They sell them monthly, yearly, whatever it is. You know, one thing with ETH and XRP, to their credit, is they're open about it. It's transparent. They're like, yeah, we're dumping, we're selling. ETH too, like, yeah, they sell. A lot of other, you know, I respect that. Nothing wrong. But they do dump a lot. But it shows also the strength that they can dump so much, and demand is so high that they're able to, you know, I haven't been following. I know it was down. It took 4 years to come back, but this last pump was pretty amazing. But you were holding for like 4 years, right? We can go look at that chart really quick. It was like a long time, right? They were sitting around. So you had to wait since 2021. Yeah, so you were just going sideways for 3 years, right? 2022 for two years you were going sideways. And then you got a mega payoff, right? Maybe we'll do a move like this as well. But you can see that even with all the dumping they were doing, you can still see a very clear uptrend in this chart. Very clear uptrend. Okay, that means demand is so high that even the founders can consistently, you know, dump and price keep going up. All that matters is supply and demand, and that those be a net positive for demand. Right? That's all that matters. I'm gonna get some better music. So there's not really a plan for the stream. I'm just kind of here, ready to capture what happens, and that if anybody wants to jump on, you know, you guys have questions or want to look at a chart, we can go look at a chart. But I'm going to try to keep the stream going for a few hours to see, at least catch the market close, and we'll see what happens. Where's man, it is humid out here. Let's go look at XRP gives everyone hope in crypto that their bags will pump eventually. Yeah. Yeah, you see how fast that move went too, right? You didn't really have time to get in. You had to just believe and hold. And I think what's going to allow something like PulseChain to do more X's is that when XRP is holding value and going up slowly, you know, people don't talk shit about it. All right. Because it's kind of on an uptrend over 2-3 years. It was always in an uptrend. It was never just falling apart. But, you know, you got a 10 or 15x or whatever that was, which is amazing. That's fantastic, right? Even if you held for 2 years, that's great. But with something like PulseChain just trending down, the move could be 30, 50x, not 10, 15x, right? Because we're down now so low. But what that does is over 2 years, people, you know, are losing their minds and they're talking negatively, unlike XRP. But it's something that Richard Hart said. And he's like, look, this is the price you pay for the gains, right? Volatility. So he lets it run down. But then when the run up comes, it can be dramatically larger than like the move was on XRP, for example. Tesla, 306. Still think it looks like a double top, but who knows? Let's go here to the 1 hour on this, see what's going on here. It's going to be interesting. It makes sense if we get a pullback here, but you never know. Silver's pushing up, looking good. Palantir up. Wow, NVIDIA, amazing. Amazing. If you MicroStrategy looking good. Looking good. Do I think pdai pegging is important for decentralized stable coin? Do I think pdai pegging is important for decentralized stable coin? Well, Michael, can you add some more context to that question? I don't know if I'm quite understanding what you're asking exactly. Do I think pdai pegging is important for pdai or for other stablecoins? I'm not clear on what the question is. Let's go. Tim Crane, when do you think Richard Hart will start talking again? It's a good question. Look, I mean, a simple answer could be, I think that this may not be a popular answer, but it could be when ETH goes above where he bought in. Okay, what was his price? It was ETH broke down here December 24. I still have the resistance line right here. I was streaming when this happened, and I was like, this isn't good. It was 37 something. It was 38.50. So I think he bought around here. His average price might have been around 37, 38. I think that it's possible he waits till ETH to get there again, which isn't that far, to be totally honest. That's a move that can happen pretty quick. But maybe he doesn't, he wants a certainty to know that ETH is stabilized and it's moving up, versus right now we're kind of in zones. We're under a lot of resistance. We don't really know. Right? I mean, we want to believe we're going up. We have signs we're going up. Everything looks bullish, but we don't have absolute certainty. And the only certainty will come maybe for him when his purchase price is met on ETH. And then, of course, obviously by the time it breaks 47, 48, the all-time high, he'd probably be streaming by then. But he might wait for one of those, okay? Not just for ETH to be pumping, but for ETH to get back to where he bought in, and or for ETH to break its all-time high. That's very possible. He waits till PulseChain 10x SAC. Yeah, that's possible. And maybe that's what happens when ETH gets to all-time high again, which is only 47, 4800. No blacklist function on pdai. Yeah, but what's your question, Michael? pdai is an interesting thought experiment in stablecoins versus regulation at the very least. The Genius Act with authorized users stipulations could make it more than a thought experiment. Yeah, look, I bought pdai in 2023. Everything that made me want to buy it as heavy as I did in 2023, nothing for me has changed since then. There was a lot of FUD and a lot of stuff, and I stopped talking about it for a number of reasons, which I'm not going to get into. One of which is that it could be dangerous for the Heartman, but there's other reasons too. And things have changed, but it doesn't mean that it's not going to pump a lot. But is it going to become a stable coin? I think the desire is the same as it was in 2023. But it certainly would be awesome if we had a decentralized stablecoin on PulseChain, which is why I bought it in 2023, because that's the same discussions we were having back then, which was like, this is what would make the chain completely free and neutral, and you'd be unable to turn it off. And it does a lot of other functions as well if you have a native stablecoin, of course. Does anyone know if the whale dumper has started selling his hex yet? I don't know. Best stream viewers? What? I don't know what that says. Oh, you're coming from... is that an ad coming from... was that Twitch? Some in the community think it's key. I agree with you. Well, we know that possibly having a stable coin is key, but we don't know. You don't know if it's pdai. You don't know what Richard Hart has planned. Okay? You don't. We don't know. And there are a number of things that are very interesting about this. One is that the people that have been fighting for him since day one are not in pdai. And I'm sure he's aware of that. And Richard Hart, if he's going to give money away, would be more likely to give it to people who've been fighting for him for 5 years straight. I mean, literally, there's people that have made audiobooks of his book, Skyvive, and a number of other things, and just putting, conventions together and this and that. I don't know. It's interesting. Maybe he has something else up his sleeve. We don't know. It's still speculation. But I think either way it could do well, you know. But I don't know, man. There's definitely a lot of weird stuff going on. Binance sending signals of a listing of PulseChain. Yeah, there's definitely some hints there, right? They've got that heartbeat stuff going and some other things. I think they both could have the same bone to pick together, right? So I wouldn't be surprised if him and CZ were in communication and were like, you know what? These institutions or whatever the powers that be are getting too close, right? We need to bring things back to crypto's origins. And, you know, CZ is from that world. You know, he was an early guy. He's quite a bit of a rebel himself. And they went after him too. So he's got a bone to pick as well. And if brains like that get together, you know, you get brains like the Hart man and CZ working together, who knows? Who knows what could be possible, right? I do think that a lot of what the Hart man posts is misdirection. So, and I've always thought that. I don't think X is necessarily for us. I think it's for the 3-letter agencies. I think it's messaging for them, stuff for them to feast on. You know, the mob does it too. Like, everyone does it. Why would he not be doing it too? You leave them a trail of crumbs in the wrong direction. And that's what I've said. So I have to make my own decisions, right? When sack price? Let me see. All right, not much is going on. Everything just came right up to resistance, and it's just hanging out. It's not like we have massive volume yet, but anyone could push this thing over at any time. I mean, obviously, we've done this before. We've done this right here. Okay, this is the first half of this move. And it's printing the second half right here, or this middle. That's the high right now. There's not a lot of volume on it. See what happens. Yeah, Q4 sack price. No, sack price could actually happen at the end of Q3, I think. It's possible. So that would be what, August? September. Yeah, that would be September. I think it is very possible that we're at sack price by September. So before we move, I have this putting in a lower low. Doesn't have to happen, but that was my speculation in December, and it would look like this, right? You get this inverse head and shoulders, then you get that lockout move, and it'd be like, see you later, bye-bye, right? I did something like that. And what were you guys saying? You want to see, when will we see Fed rate cut this month, you think? I don't think they're going to cut this month. I think they're going to delay it longer. Maybe into, I mean, it could be possible, I guess. Maybe August or something. I feel like they're gonna cut it when everyone stops asking. Like when you have enough people who throw in the towel, who are like, "Fuck it, I knew it, it's over, bear market" or some shit. Could they do it now? It's possible. I don't think they're gonna do it right now. I think they might hold it off a little longer. 2 more weeks. When would you consider selling? What are the points you're looking for if you want like to share? Well, in Balta, there may not be a lot of reason to sell if things work out where, you know, you can stake all your PulseChain, right? Which is probably something he'll do, or something with the stable. You pair it up with the stable coins. But I would assume you'd probably be taking profits in after Bitcoin tops out, probably a month after that, right? Maybe 2 months, like 30 to 60 days after Bitcoin's topped out. Or no, maybe, yeah, because then Ethereum should go on an epic run, and PulseChain will top out after Ethereum, I would think. what if we thought about stablecoins pegging to something even more valuable than just dirty fiat? They're better rulers for value, time, energy. Yeah, that's true. That's true. It could be something. I think they're going to do something with pegging BTC and gold or something eventually. They're going to do something there, possibly. Ink pegged to gold. That'd be interesting. Hey, Same, please take a look at the Pulse Inc ratio. Pulse X Inc ratio seems to have double topped around 80K Pulse X Inc. Do you think we retrace the entire move and sweep the low? Okay, hang on one second. Let me put the link for the show. I think I totally forgot that in the Telegram. I'm slouching again. All right, let's go Inc and Pulse X. I think PulseChain, unless, you know, there's some calamity that happens that slows the whole cycle down, I think it's going to run this year. I do. Oh, wait a minute. Because remember, there's a lot of competition, guys. Like, you can only hold this stuff off so long. It doesn't mean it can't pump, but, you know, you're just eventually going to hurt your chain as well, right? Okay, so let's see. Oh, look at that. I had a chart ready for this. So, you're saying it double topped here? I've been planning for this. You see I had a drawing here already from who knows when I draw that. Who knew when? Let's go ahead and delete this. I don't need that right now. I think it's, well, I'll leave that up. I think it's still following kind of what I drew. So you think it's topped? Possibly. This be a double top. It's being rejected at the same place, that's for sure. Let's take a look at this. Yeah, that looks like a pretty serious doji right there on the weekly for a reversal. Doesn't mean it has to be topped, though. This has moved quite a bit since I saw it last. That's where it was before. Yeah. Yeah, I think you're onto something. I think it could be topped. It doesn't mean it won't outperform it later in the future, but yeah, I think this is going to pull back. Yeah, it probably look very similar to what happened over here. Well, are you ratio trading Super Snake? Are you ratio trading INC and PulseX? I mean, it's pretty cool if you are. I don't know if I've looked at this before. It's pretty cool. Because you know what? If we're going to have a pullback too, does this signal a pullback? When did this happen last? Let's go look. February 20. Look, look. Last time this happened was 13th of February. Okay, let's go back to PulseChain. What happened on 13th of February? Look, right here. We had a serious pullback starting 13th of February. Look at this. Bam. This date is 13th of February right there. Oh shit. So when we pulled back last time on this ratio with INC and PulseX, being that because INC is more volatile, so it's going to lose the most value. So PulseX is going to dominate in this ratio in that situation. That's what happens. Let's go back and look on the 13th of February. What else happened? Super Snake. Awesome, man. That was great to look at that chart. So we're gonna figure this out right now. Look at this. February 13th. Where's it at? Okay, ETH was actually pumping, and then it dumped on the 23rd really bad. ETH was still pumping there. Let's go to BTC. What did BTC do on the 13th of February? Yeah, look. ETH or BTC went sideways. ETH was just going up a little bit, and then it dumped 10 days later. So PulseChain really front runs. That's fucking interesting, man. I wouldn't be surprised. I know probably it doesn't get talked about a lot, but if people at BlackRock are in this, okay, and I'm sure Richard Hart can tell too. He can probably see those wallets that he's like, they always front run these dumps. Like they know they're market making everywhere. You understand? They're not just market making BTC. They probably have rooms of people in Asia, or who knows where they're doing it, and they've already heavily gotten in PulseChain or whatever from day one. They knew who Richard Hart is. They're on to him, obviously, right? They just went through the whole SEC thing, because this is uncanny, right? Let's go. Let's see what else. So PulseChain dumped. That's a dump for PulseChain. Let's just go to INC too. See what INC. February 13th. So we had, look at that. Bam, yep, right there. February 13th, right here. We dumped. We had pretty much that'd be our bounce, and we just really started falling apart. Came all the way down under $1 from 283. So look, this is, guys that know I've had this on here for months now, because I drew this back in April. All right. And I drew that this thing, and we almost tracked it. I mean, not perfectly, but I still captured what the general price action was going to be. But we're here now. So obviously we've moved here, right? Is it going to happen? I mean, this is what I was seeing when I saw this chart, where I was like, okay, it doesn't make sense to pump from here. It just doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't mean we go this low. Hell, we could go lower. We could go higher. But it was hard for me but it's possible. It's totally possible. We could absolutely pump from here. We could. I just thought this might be. So maybe this is lining up for something. We'll see. I don't know. It's a possibility. It's a speculation. But INC did also pull back on the 13th of February. So if this ratio is topped out, I wonder if that's giving us a hint that there's about to be a major pullback. Because, you got a strong support line right here that would put INC PulseX at 55,000. So this would be the time to buy INC when it touches this line. Like if you had bought INC here, so what's the date here? May 19th. Let's go to INC. INC was already up here. That means PulseX might have been dumping. Guys, that was a ratio chart right here, so it's not. We're just looking for confluence, and we're looking for some clues. There's March. Yeah, May 7th, pumped, PulseX. Sami will appear if you say Peg again. Peg. No, he's sleeping right now. He only shows up if like I'm streaming at 2 in the morning on my time, because then I think it's like almost noon over there. All the streams that he's shown up on the show, I think he showed up on like 3, maybe 3 or 4, or at least 3. It was always after 2 a.m. my time, because I think he's 9 hours ahead of me. I think is what he is, right? Yeah, he usually shows up, I think, around 2. Between 2 and 3 a.m. is when he's shown up. Right now it's 8:42, so he's definitely sleeping. Find my clothes. Hart's Law. Welcome to PulseChain. We love you. Do you think Dirty Crypto is consuming shrooms? I don't know Dirty Crypto. I think everybody should consume shrooms, though. I think it's really good for you. I think you should. Mycelium is very good for you. But I don't know. What does that have to do with Dirty Crypto? Is he a big shroom guy? Gutsy. Do you think ETH is being intentionally suppressed? And do you think RH will have a plan for PulseChain to succeed even without ETH performing? ETH is 100% being suppressed. I know it's being suppressed because they're using that to hold back altcoins and to manage the cycle. And I was told by some really smart people in 2022 that they would suppress ETH. I was told that. I was like, look, they're going to make it so people in altcoins don't make money. That's exactly what a very experienced older trader told me in 2022. He's like, the elites do not want you to make money, and they know you crypto people are holding altcoins. They're going to crush Ethereum and crush altcoins. That's exactly what he told me, almost word for word. And he lost all respect for me when I told him I was heavy in PulseChain. And we got in some fights about that. He's like, dump that shit. And I was like, no. Do you think ETH is being... Yeah, ETH, they're definitely suppressing ETH, for sure. A lot of people have talked about it at higher levels. These are discussions that do happen. So people are aware that that's what was happening. And they weren't going to let it break out. That's why I was always apprehensive. Now, of course, I've gotten the privy to have these discussions with people who are a lot smarter than I am. So it helped me understand this cycle more than maybe other people who don't have get to be in the rooms I've gotten to be in. But still, I mean, it should be obvious. I mean, it was bullish. It's always been it was bullish all the time, and it would just never go up, as if a hand was constantly smacking it down, right? But there will be a point when they'll let it go, but it's going to be on their time. Now, I don't know if that's going to be a lot later than we think, or it's going to happen here, like we're talking about Q3, Q4, which is what I'm hoping, that they do let it go end of summer, maybe Q4, September, and it starts ripping. Will RH wait for that? He seems pretty adamant about the ETH thing. I think he's going to wait. But it doesn't mean we don't get to sack price, if that makes sense. Like, we could still go to sack price without ETH, right? Because that would be a type of lockout move, right? So people are waiting for ETH for him to really pump it so they don't get in. But by the time they get in, you know, Pulse is already at sack, which is still a great place to get in, by the way. But you don't get these lows anymore. That's also possible too. That's why I think this could happen. And then we could also just find a spot, maybe like around here, is this around sack price? And then we just hang out, right? And until ETH does its thing, and then we rip roar. So if you're waiting for ETH, you end up getting in more or less around sack. To get these prices, you probably got to get in soon. I think that before ETH moves, he'll probably move this away from down here and bring us up to sack at least. And then if ETH's not moving, we may just hang out at sack price forever, for a long time, until that happens. You know what I'm saying? And then you'll end up later with one of these, right? I just drew this in 2 seconds. I mean, this isn't like accurate, but you'd end up with this big inverse head and shoulders, and then we'd be looking at, you guys get it? You see what I'm saying? Something like this could happen, right? And people will be drawing this then, right? And then you get a... That's how simple TA is, guys. TA is really simple, guys. Really simple. And we'd have this big move up here. Something like that could happen. That's possible. But, you know, we got to first get to sack price. You know, I don't want to be jumping the gun with all this. But this is some speculation. We got to get out of here first. I mean, I don't know what's better. If we bust out of here, I think that's better than hang out at sack price. So people who come have to get in there. Or for him to just, like, if ETH doesn't go, you know, let us fucking hang out here in Goblin Town, right? Like we just chop down here. Like that would kind of suck too, right? Maybe it's better we get to sack price. Good times ahead. He makes some compelling arguments. Dirty is on... Who makes the compelling arguments? Me or Dirty Crypto? Dirty's on his Nicolas Cage journey at the National Treasure Hurdle currency. What? Yes, sir. I've been rich for trading this pair last 12 months. Nice. Good man. Yeah, no, it looks like a great pair. Like, I missed it. It looks great. This is a good one. But there may be clues here. Maybe there's about to be a massive pullback. Hang on, what's this? Oh, fuck. Can you please review PTGC when you get a chance, see when it might break out? Okay, let's look at PTGC. We're all just chilling. This is a pretty casual stream because I just wanted to be here when something did something, but everything's at my resistance. Go back and look at BTC really quick. You can find some better music, man. I'm tired of this. Yeah, you know, it's just hitting that resistance, man. At 113, it didn't even, where'd it get to? It got to 114. What did I say? I said 113 and a half to 115. That was my target. That's it. Just like this target I had here. There's a ton of confluence of resistance right above us, man. Just like happened back here. And I said, man, I drew this. When we were down here, I drew this. I said, we're going to hit this and then just dance. And we're making the other attempt. I thought we'd make the other attempt a little bit later, but we're doing it now. This is where I drew the breakout for August. Let's go to PTGC. Pups, do me a favor. Help pump PulseChain. Reach forward and smash that like button. Oh, T.S. Pedro was on it. All right. Let's see what's going on. So this played out the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 into the high. Then we completed the ABC. This was very textbook. A, B, and I'm expecting the C to happen anytime now. It doesn't have to come down here to this purple box I have down here. It could stay in this purple box, the first one, right? It could just double bottom. It could be irregular. We don't know yet, right? But my suspicion was that C is waiting to complete. Maybe it already happened. I don't know. Could this have been it? Nah, I don't think so. I don't get too much into this, but it does look pretty textbook in terms of if you go to I mean, it's very textbook looking, right? If you look at this, I'll give you guys a second. You guys know this, right? Sometimes these simple things, they just seem to play out like they're timeless charts, right? Okay. Euphoria, complacency, big drop. As you drop, you go into anxiety, denial, panic, capitulation, anger. All right, and then it repeats. as we get to hope, which is it's pumping up. We could be in disbelief right now. I don't know. We could be ready to start again. What do you guys think? Where do you think we are when I go back and forth from this to this? Before I'll give you guys a breakdown, but just let's chat. Put in your oh, you guys have been chatting away. Sorry about that. In the chat, tell me, just write, where do you think we are on the PTGC chart? According to this, the cheat sheet. Do you think we're in anger, depression, disbelief, or hope? Yeah, this was capitulation here. You can tell for these wicks, okay? Obviously, euphoria and complacency are very clear. This was euphoria, number 5. This was complacency. This was people, I saw them on Twitter, oh, we're about to go for the next rally, right? It's like, it's hilarious. And what does it say? We just need to cool off for the next rally. Like, you can't write this stuff. It's literally, you know, and bam, then you got this fall, and then everyone goes through this, you know, anxiety, denial, panic, capitulation. You see all these wicks down here, capitulation. And then we're in one of these right now. So anger's probably happened. Okay. Anger was, I don't know. Maybe we did. We're kind of going sideways right now, which is kind of what's here. Did we hit that final low? Hang on one second, pups. Let me see what you guys put. Disbelief. We're in disbelief. We're in hope. Hope or disbelief. We just finished depression. I see disbelief. You guys put disbelief a lot. Okay, let's go look at that. So oh, okay. Yeah, because we're coming back. Okay. Okay, get this high. It's a tough one, isn't it? It is really smart market makers too, and it is tied to PulseChain as well in a really interesting way. So it is moving and doing some stuff. It could break out of here. It doesn't have to hang around. We did break this channel though, and we might get rejected. I don't know. Let's see. So I think somebody was asking, when are we going to start moving up on PTGC? That was a question, right? Oh, the ETH guy? Yeah, in 2022. Yeah, I talked about that a number of times. I talked about that even in December when I first was charting ETH and it broke that important resistance or support. And I was like, hey guys, I was with Pedro on stream. I was like, this is not good at all. And then I was telling the story about that guy. I was like, hey, this guy told me that they were going to crush ETH and altcoins. What was the original question? It was like, I got some catching up to do. Okay, so let's look. Let's take a look here. So when I'm at, this is like times when I'll run some fibs. We'll have a little bit of fun with it. Okay. So this was your complacency. Okay. Right to the 786. See the 786 golden pocket. All like literally textbook. Collapse. Pump back up to the 786 and see you later. Bye bye. All right. And we pumped up to almost the 382. We're at the 236 right now. Do I think we could just blast off from here? Well, I suppose it's liquidity bonded with PulseChain. So I guess if PulseChain is going to go, you got the weekly turning over here. Okay, that means it's done the work it needed to do. Okay. Now, do I think we're in, you guys said disbelief? I think we could be in depression. No, it's hard to say, man. Because if PulseChain does take a little dip, like we were just looking at the Pulse X INC ratio, and last time it diverged or that INC was looking weak, everything was started dumping. Like last time it happened was here. Doesn't mean that's happened all the time. But if we do get a pullback, I suppose PTGC might also have a pullback. And then people would get mad. Then they would go to depression. Then we would have disbelief. Were people angry? Did people go through an anger phase with PTGC? I'm not like in the chats and all that. Because sometimes when you just see sentiment, but the kind of questions people ask, you just know where we are. Like, here's the thing. I think there's still a lot of, like, what signifies disbelief is that people really have to disbelieve it. Does that make sense? Like, for example, and this isn't just about PTGC. This is just great to know in general about markets. Like, when we were down here, where's Bitcoin? So when we were over here on Bitcoin, Jesus Christ. I bought BTC at 15.7. I'll never forget that. Okay, I bought it was 15.7. I remember buying it, and I bought more at 16.8. Okay, and everyone told me I was crazy. It was January 2nd when I put in my first order. All right, this is disbelief. Nobody believed it was going up. Everyone said it had to go down, and I just followed my rules. My rules are really simple, and this is my rule. And this is $1 million rule. This will make you more money than you could ever imagine. That's where I made all my money, just following this rule. When everybody's fucking bearish and the price will not go down, that means you're out of sellers, and price can only go up. When price is up high and everybody's bullish and price will not go up, you're out of fucking buyers. It's so simple. It's unbelievable. And all I did was I went, dude, we've been bearish. I remember since the end of summer, all I heard was bearish stuff about crypto and BTC. And we dumped down here, and it was nonstop bearish news, nonstop. And I was like, price is going up. This has got to be the bottom. And I was like, and I just calculated. I was like, if I'm wrong and we do go to 8K or 9K or whatever people were saying, then fine, I accept a drawdown. But I went in big, and I'm like, nope, I think we're going up. So I went in really heavy, 15.8 and 16.8. Yeah, right there, it was DCAing. And we did go up, and it was disbelief. Like, nobody believed it. Nobody believed it till they announced the ETF, like almost a year later. That was ridiculous. So you have to ask yourself, if you say it's disbelief and it's the cue is this is a sucker's rally, are people really saying that? Or are they really like, I hope this goes up, fuck. Like, you know, I bought the top, you know, because then you might really be in depression or anger if that's the case. When we actually do start going up, it's usually after there's like, people are pissed. That means it hits a low that no one expected it to hit. That's usually what that means, right? So that's why it's down here, this red. It's usually not there for very long. It can literally just wick there for one day, but it like, people are like, fuck, that's it. Fuck this shit. And then it goes to a disbelief rally. I don't know if that's happened yet, right? That doesn't have to happen. Or it could happen in one day. Like, it could literally happen in one day. We could just have one little wick, bam, done, and we go. But it always does seem to happen. But if it's a smaller project, like this is, you know, I don't think there's that many holders, maybe 12,000. I don't remember how many there are, but it's not like BTC, right? So it doesn't have to experience everything fully. But it has so far. It's pretty textbook so far, you know, in terms of the euphoria, the complacency, the drop, the capitulation over here. Yeah, I mean, people ran out of this like crazy, right? They just dumped it like nuts. It could be preparing to go into the disbelief. It could be about to do it too, right? It could be like about to do it, and then no one believes it, and then pops. But it is at 236. How long have we been down here? We've been down here since March. Oh, we've only been down here like 3 months, huh? How long was this one? Let's go back really quick. Shroom TA sounds fun. I like this garden gal. She's cool. This was from March to... This was the disbelief rally here. See? March to August. Yeah, man. Look, it could do the same timeline. This went from March to August. This one maybe goes to August, which times with what we talked about earlier in the show, where we were like, maybe we start to run end of Q3, Q4, and that's when PTGC would run, right? Because last time, that's how long it was down for, right? Last time it capitulated, it went from March to August. And then in August started this disbelief rally, and nobody believed it, right? Probably not. So we're getting close. Maybe we're in depression. We're entering depression. I can't say for sure. But I doubt we're in disbelief yet because everyone's believing it too easily, right? Microdosing as we speak. Michael, that's awesome, man. I did 90 days of microdosing, and I really changed my life. It had an amazing impact on my life. It was very intentional work. 2 more years, guys. Hold tight. Imagine if ETH and alts pump and everything on Pulse dumps. Oof. Nah, I don't even know if that's possible because Hex is tied to ETH, right? So if ETH goes up, I think Hex is going to pump for sure. At least I hope so. If that happens, who said that? Was that Paul Sachs? Chauncey, if that happened, that would be depression. That would be pure depression. If ETH pumps and altcoins pump and we dump. Dude. Oh, man. Don't even talk. We'd delete that comment. 2-to-1 Hex pdai ratio soon. Yeah, that was kind of cool, right? pdai's outperforming Hex. I think I have the same amount, similar amounts, I think. Paul Sachs, you mean certain guys have slush fund, personal or gray money for their own golden parachute emergency kits versus, huh? Oh, lottery? Update on third largest SAC wallet whale that's been selling out of the 300 million Hex. He sent to a sell wallet. 50 million sold so far. What? JD, are you serious? We talked about that. We thought they were spoofing. And we thought it was just, let's go look at that chart. Where are we at? Hex? P-Hex, right? No, you're talking about, wait, P-Hex or E-Hex? Well, it doesn't matter. Let's look at the chart. Oh, yeah. Yeah, somebody fucked up my Hex chart. It's funny, too, because so many of the hexagons that when I started kind of following this world, I didn't start streaming till I think end of 2023. No, 2024 maybe. Yeah, it was 2024 when I started streaming, a little over a year ago. But I remember all the people that I saw making videos in 2022 or even 2023, most of them are gone. There was a lot of people that I had never seen again. Obviously, there's a core group that's still there going nonstop, without a doubt. But a lot of people just vanished, right? Like, they were only here for green candles, Which, fair enough, it's not making anybody money, okay. But, yeah, that was a tough one to see. People just vanished. Let's go look at this one. Yeah, it's not looking good. Not looking good at all there. Ooh, oof. Yeah. So he's only sold 50 million. He has 250 million more to sell. We might be entering depression. Oh, man. It's not good. Hey, bring me some good news. Curious if today's pump for S&P, BTC, and ETH are just low volume market maker games, or the market is seriously ready to make another serious move. No, man. Look, here's I think this lines up with my theory. I told you guys about the $1 million. This is like when I go all heavy. There's been so much bullish news, and the price really isn't going up. That's a concern for me. I don't know if it's a top. It could be a temporary top, but it's a concern. Like, we've had nonstop bullish news for crypto, and the price is not, like, it's really not going up. Everyone's sitting around waiting for the institutions to pump it. Really, that's what's going on. You know that, right? You get that, right? We're kind of sitting around like, hey, Michael Saylor, are you going to buy more, or BlackRock? What do you? It kind of feels like that's what's happening. Kirill, will PulseChain fall back to SAC after bull market? Price prediction during next bear market, please. Oh, man. Kirill, you're demanding, bro. Here's the thing. It really depends on how it pumps, Kirill. I'll be totally honest with you. I need to see volume, and I can identify patterns, but I need to see it move. Like, I really now I can look 6 months in advance, just like I did with this chart when I drew this. But I need to see something. I need to see something in the direction. This energy was pointing to this drawing that I did. That's all it was doing. Like, that's why we're painting this, right? But if I don't see on the bullish side, on the bullish moves, I haven't seen anything yet. I don't know how this moves. For me, the way I think of it is like hunting prey. And I've done it enough where I can tell which way the animal's going to break or whatever. I mean, there's a lot more technicals to it, of course. But I need to see something. And I haven't seen how PulseChain breaks to the upside yet. And until I do, that's why I have a hard time drawing. I know a lot of people do things like targets based on fibs and based on this, but I don't find them to be that accurate, to be honest. Otherwise, I would do it. Like, I know how to do fibs. I could definitely run that. I could multiply market cap times coins, blah, blah, blah. You guys have seen all that shit already. But how accurate has that been, right? Like, when I draw, I just genuinely look at a chart and I think of all the thousands of charts I've seen before, and then I can come to some kind of thing, right? Like why I'm able to draw some of these patterns, right? Or confident enough to put them up. Because I have the price action before it to see like, okay, this is how it moves. This is what it's done before, right? I don't know how this is going to break out of here, and that actually matters a lot to me. Like, is it going to just impulsively fly, kind of like what I drew here? Or are we going to just slowly gain, like, for example, I'm going to show you a cool chart because it's doing what ATROPA, which is a very bullish looking chart, and I love it. Oh, sorry. I'm going to show you something really quick because this is different the way this moves, okay? And I was able to draw this very accurately well before it moved. When I was talking about the breakout move and it's going to make this inverse head and shoulders, and now I'm telling you it's going to make another one, and blah, blah, blah. And I drew this channel. Let me actually draw like a real channel here. Let's put a real channel in here. Where is that? Dirt? Oh, no, I don't want that. I want... Huh? What you? Is that the one I use? Is it this one? Okay, it just looks different here. Okay, that's fine. Okay, yeah, that's what I want. All right. So, yeah, there it is. Okay. So, why? This is not the one I want. What's the blue one I use? Is it only on TradingView? Oh, no, it's just the parallel. This is a really big mess. Let me just come here. Oh, this is a big mess too. Fuck. Drawn all over these fucking things. Okay, let's use this one. I don't need that. I don't need that right now. All right, this is what I think here. This right here, to me, is very similar to BTC. over here. You see this move right here with the lockout move, and it was going sideways, and ATROPA was. What is this red line? Why is it doing that? All right. So see this thing down here? This was the same thing. It was just creeping up slowly, going sideways, and everybody was shouting bear shit about ATROPA and the dev and Maria Rahel's a retard, right? Remember that? It was just doing this. What was happening here on BTC, which I just talked about? Everybody was saying it's going to zero, FTX is about to collapse, blah, blah, blah. It's exactly the same move. So you recognize this very quickly as a bottom, all right? You recognize it very quickly as a bottom. So I'm going to channel this up. It's going kind of up and to the right, very similar to this, with its fake outs, right? Because it needs to shake people out still who get rid of the people who don't believe or whatever. We'll tweak this as we go a little bit more, figure out how we want to. Yeah, that's probably right. I'm going to go with that. I'm just going to leave this for now. That's fine for me. And so this is going to become, this is how this one's going to move. And it's going to probably do this consistently as it goes up for a while. I think it's just going to be up and to the right for a while. Just like BTC was just up and to the right nonstop, right? With constant, like, solid shakeouts. A lot of people simply just don't recognize these patterns, right? Like, I can recognize this pretty quick. And I can tell these are fake outs. I can tell not to sell. I'm not going to pretend to try to trade this. I'm just holding. But, who knows if I can get a handle on it. Now, is it going to do something like this? Or is it going to do something like, you see PTGC doing, right? Which is very similar to what I drew here, right? Where it just comes up in these three patterns, right? So PTGC is like 1, 2, 3, pop. So I need to see something. I need to see how it creates the bottom and what it does for its first move. I think once I see that, I might start to get an idea of, like, cool, guys, this is what I think it could look like. And then I can draw something. Other than that, I mean, I could do some targets possibly. We can just run fibs, but everybody's done that a million times, right? Every influencer, right? Let's go back to price really quick. Hang on, let me see what BTC 113.7. Let me catch up here with chat, you guys. Just mucking about with the charts. Yeah, Samson. Yeah, like it could move more like PTGC in the sense it could move pretty quickly in the beginning. Yeah. Look, that's what I drew originally, that I thought it was going to do a really fast move very quickly to sack or even to where it went to before to double top, right? That was my kind of a hunch I had, but I don't know if that's what it's going to do. Like, I don't know until I see the first beginning of the move. Like, I know what ATROPA is going to do and why I'm willing to, like, kind of go with this chart, because I've seen other things do this kind of pattern, because it formed this as a bottom and then it kind of like leaked out right here, which is similar to what Bitcoin did, just in a more sophisticated way because it has more money in it. But you can see how it like did this little bottom, just like ATROPA came up, and then it kind of leaked out, but it did it in a very like, interesting way because it's tons more volume and tons more market makers and a lot more stake. This just did it more simply. It just kind of like did this. Somebody sold, dumped, got out really quick. And then right after that, it shakes everybody out. It begins this kind of like parabolic up and to the right. It's not parabolic, but it's like pretty strong moving to the right. BTC, same thing. It shook most people out between 32K and 26K. I know it did. It shook a lot of people out. And then they announced the ETF and it took off. And look, ATROPA did the same thing. Right here. Did this bottom, came up, started falling apart, just like BTC, and then you lost some of the big bags. You're like, I'm out of here. They're selling, and then see you later. Bye-bye. Got a little retest of this breakout. Got a little retest here. Chink. Beautiful. Beautiful. Got another one here. It's making these like plateaus, right? So let's hope it holds. Obviously, it's still tied to PulseChain. But so my first choice is, yeah, it's going to do pretty quick breakout moves, but I can't say that for sure until I see it do something. It needs to do something. I need to see it. Saying this because once we enter price discovery, that range will barely matter, like what happened with Matic. Yeah, Mm-hmm. 100%. Matic did it too. It did nothing. I was holding Matic forever. And ADA too. I think in 2020, I was holding it forever. I remember it was just chopping between like 8 cents and 14 cents or something. And my average buy was like 9 cents or 10. I don't remember. I was just sitting there watching it do nothing forever while other things were going up. And then when it took off, it just took off. Would the dollar be worth the same then? We can go look at the Dixie. I'm not a Dixie expert at all. But Michael Laughlin, when the powers that be start taking actions against dissenting wallets, then people will see the real value of PulseChain economic sovereignty. Yeah. I think there will be, I think you're right. I think there will be catalysts that will make people realize the value of PulseChain. I 100% agree with you. And that's why I'm here, because people don't know they want it yet. It's kind of like the guy selling umbrellas on a sunny day, and you're like, oh, what an idiot. Why is he selling umbrellas? And you find out later he's got the weather report. He knows in 30 minutes it's going to rain, right? But if it's sunny, you don't need an umbrella. But all of a sudden when it rains, and what's funny, this is the funny thing, when you walk by the umbrella guy on a rainy day, on a sunny day, the umbrellas are $1, right? And he's got the weather report saying in 3 hours it's going to rain. And then it starts pouring, and you run over to the umbrella guy who you laughed at before. And now the umbrellas aren't $1. They're $15 each, right? And that's what's going to happen to PulseChain. It's going to be right down dirt cheap. You don't think you need it right now. You don't think you need DeFi. But something's going to happen, or they'll start taking over wallets or something. I don't know what. And it'll make people flock and be like, oh, fuck, where's that PulseChain? You know? And the price will be much higher. For sure. That's a good point. Herd mentality. Disbelief. Looks like disbelief. Are you talking about PTGC again? You back at that? Disbelief? Oh, yeah, you're saying it's this is disbelief? It could be. It could be. It's possible. We just finished depression. Am I way behind on the chat? I reckon we're coming out of depression. Hope. I think we're in hope. I guess we're ending disbelief. We're entering hope. I once did shrooms. Okay, here we go. The show's about to take a turn. I once did shrooms, but then went straight to DMT. It's like seeing pdai pegging right in front of your eyes. You can't believe it. You should try. What? Good plug, bro. That was smart. Smart way to... Smart shilling right there. Disbelief. People want to hope, but still recovering from long depression. Hope. Depression. Depression when you hit all-time low. We didn't hit all-time low, did we? I guess it could be that. I'm going to tell you, it needs to at least double bottom for me. You got a lot of wicks down here. The market, it doesn't have to. If we get bullish, we get bullish, right? But the market really... I think it needs to at least retest this down here. So even if it does like a double bottom, like this, okay, I don't see. Yeah, I mean anything's possible, right? I don't know. We'll see. Everybody. Get a new keyboard. I was angry a couple months ago. Were you angry a couple months ago, Michael? Okay. So that's good to know, right? So you were in anger. So we're either in depression or disbelief probably, right? You were in anger, and now it came up a little bit. We might be here right now, man. Where it comes up out of anger, so you're not angry anymore. That may be what this is right here. So, like, I have a target down here, but it doesn't have to be it. Obviously, I have the purple box here for a reason, right? But, you know, yeah, how's it going? It sounds like we got a lot of PTGC guys in here. Boo! And then, that would be very strong to me. That would be very strong. But no, it could absolutely... if we're ready to break, it could 100%, you know, start moving, right? Start moving up from here. Yeah, I could be cool with that too. It doesn't have to come down a lot lower. Hey, appreciate it, man. Look at, yeah, let's go look at WBTC. Yes, and then move sideways. Yeah, we need a little more sideways here, man. This is a pretty euphoric move, guys. Like, this was crazy. This went way higher than anyone expected. So usually what happens psychologically, if something goes a lot higher than people expect, it a lot of times, not always, it tends to go lower than people expect as well. The Hex did that, right? It went much higher than people expected, and the energy rebound is to go lower than people expect. The reason BTC didn't go as low as people expected is because why? It didn't go as high as people expected. It was just basic. The volatility was dampened because they did a distribution curve, okay? You didn't see this on BTC, right? You didn't see that, right? If that had happened, you probably would have gotten 6K or 12K, right? For it to recover. But no, you got this pretty little distribution right here. You know, chop, chop, little down, chop, 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 and then clump. So 15K made sense. It's not going to go as low as people think because it didn't go as high as people think. PTGC went really high, guys. This is really euphoric, right? So that means it could go lower than people think. In, same thing happened with. Obviously, I can show you Hex chart. You guys know that chart probably, right? But if I come here to another one, only because I know they got some new stuff coming. Solid X also went a lot higher than people expected. And because of that, look at that. It's not a distribution. That means it's probably going to go a lot lower than people expect. That would make the most sense, right? And I was charting this earlier. I don't know what happened to my chart. I have some price targets for this, right? I think around $4 are my targets, right? So same thing. Like when something goes up that intense, it can come down a lot more further than you expect, right? So it's one of the benefits of having a distribution like BTC had. So volatility is great, but it was controlled. So we didn't have a blow off top. So we also didn't have this insane dump to 6 or 10K or whatever people were saying, right? There was that some people were saying 3K. I mean, look, these targets are in the charts. It could go to 3K or 9K or 12K. It just didn't, right? It's in a tighter range. But these altcoins are not. They're very volatile, which gives you a chance to do really well. But if you buy the top, you got to ride it down for a long time, longer than you probably expect. But then you get to ride it back up again, And you can buy some more while you're at the bottom. I do think we're in a range where you should be comfortable buying, okay? I'm going to show you something. We were at PTGC. So PTGC is at the 236. You should be, if that's your jam, you should be loading up right now, all right? This is where you start buying. You don't buy anywhere else. This is where you buy. I ran the fibs. Where are we at? 236? Guys, if you're buying, $1 million advice, and you're into this token, you should be buying here in this range, okay? Or where it was, whatever. Which is why I have this purple box there. Why I have these. These are already, you're good, man. You buy here, you're good. Now, I do think it's possible we can come down. So you might leave a little bit. If you don't get this price down here in this box, you just deploy the rest as you start moving up. But this is where you'd be buying, right? You're at the 236. Same with Pulse, right? Could it go lower? Yeah, it's possible, but you would kind of just be buying already. Like, this is an amazing place to be buying. If you know people bought at SAC price, which is, what is that, 3x above us? Almost 3x from where we are? Yeah, you're good, man. Moondog, I know dollar inflates 4%. I'm interested in price prediction of Pulse during next bear market. Oh, we did that. Yeah, we talked about it. Oh, yeah, we need to see how, the bull run goes. Phase it. Disbelief. General anger. Sometimes there's a fake out before you actually go in and start into disbelief. That's why it's disbelief, by the way, because you already got faked out once. Just you guys understand the psychology, right? So what happens is everyone thinks one of them is always the one. People think it's going to be the one that recovers, right? And then you get faked out, and it goes just slightly lower. That's why this chart does this. That's why you get depressed, because you all thought that this, not you all, but I mean, like, this is a generic chart, but it's a great teacher because you learn the psychology. Like right here, you can see my mouse. This is where it starts pumping, and everyone's like excited. Everybody gets euphoric here and excited. And then it dumps again, but it goes slightly lower. And that's what creates a depression, because you're like, oh, fuck. And then when it starts going again, you're like, fuck this shit. It's not real. So, but you can't have disbelief if you didn't get a crazy fake out before it, because the psychology is just not set up for it yet, if that makes sense. The market's not primed for that moment. So you almost have to have one great fake out first, which is why they show on this chart it going just slightly lower. It only goes lower for what, a week? It's not very long, but it's enough to train your psychology and to reorient your brain so that when it does start moving again, you've already been heartbroken. You're like, and that's why it feels like disbelief, because you're like, no, man, no, it's not. No, forget it. You know, all is lost. My retirement money's lost. Forget it. You're still in depression, right? So they're to make. If I was a good market maker, I would do one good, quick low to like, so that when we do start moving, you have those emotions. It's important to have these emotions, by the way. That's what this chart. If you memorize this chart, man, you'll understand like 90% of crypto. This is an amazing chart, and start to think about what these psychological points mean and why they're important, and you'll understand. And you'll understand why they work. I bought Hex, and I was like, well, I'm staking it so I can buy it, through the middle. No, dude, you always got to wait for you got to wait for everything to play out. It takes time for these things to play out. It takes a little bit of time, because it took a lot of time to make a chart, right? So if you see, PTGC, because we're talking about it, it took from March of 2024 to August of 2024. No, March of 2024 to August of 2024 to prime you for this pump, right? The reason this is going down, because people were selling. People were selling. And then it started to move here. See the last low? It even does it here. This is the depression. See this last little baby low? And see how it pumped into this one? People probably here thought this was it, we're going up. And then it made one last little baby low right here. And people didn't believe it when we started moving up. So this was disbelief. And a lot of people sold here. Why? Because the chart tells me that. It was going down. People were leaving. So it works, the market making. Like, the markets move the way they do for a reason. But because then you get these massive pumps. Because then everyone has to come back and jump back in, right? And it's worth jumping back in if you jump in soon enough. Like this whole, some people have too much pride too, right? They don't want to jump in. Like, dude, it's going to go up a lot. Just get in. Like, fine, you sold the bottom. You have a chance to make it up. Just get back in because you see how much it pumped, right? So same thing could happen again, right? Nothing's for sure. These are all probabilities. We play probabilities like a good fucking blackjack player. We try to keep our emotions cool. We do get excited about things. I'm excited about virtual Hart products. Obviously in PTC people are in hope phase. Very true. Well, last time I checked X, I saw a good amount of angry Pulse people. Oh, you're right. You're right. Samson, you're 100% right. There was a lot of hate videos coming out in the last month, right? So we are probably in anger or depression. Depression, you won't see videos. So maybe there's one last dip and then everyone just goes quiet for the rest of July and then we, before we pump. But you're absolutely right. That's a good point. There was a lot of anger toward Richard Hart and PulseChain recently. So we were probably coming out of anger, or we're in anger right now. Maybe. I stopped trying to rebalance. My timing was bad. Switched to nibbling dips of 5 to 10% daily in the cores. Cores are great because we're getting close to the point where cores are, Richard Hart's not going to pump all coins. He's going to pump his cores. It's hard to tell if disbelief is finished, buy and burn. PulseChain will probably be the last to run, but will be the most explosive. Could be, man, because didn't he run? Hex was one of the last ones to run in 2021, right? So it's very possible, and he's also connected it to Ethereum very heavily, right? So ETH is pumps to the very end. You know, so yeah, you could be right, Deerslayer. It could absolutely be one. You should be ready for that. That you may have to wait and watch everything else pump, but PulseChain. Like you should psychologically prepare yourself. That what would you do? Can you hold? Or are you going to jump to Solana? What are you going to do? Or follow Pulse? Rooster, I don't know if it does either because I couldn't put heads or tails to that when it was pumping last time. I just accepted I didn't know and just played my hand like, okay, it's going up, take profits, et cetera, et cetera. Like I couldn't connect the dots on how it was connected. Microdose, we are in euphoria all day. Core is key. My rebalancing has been even more fundamental than straight up fasting for an extended period of time, cycling through replacing various habits. Let me make this stuff bigger. I'm just gonna read along. Evil after Pulse X. Cycling extended fast. JD, yes, it's below. I think it's 250 million p-hex left. Fuck, that's a lot of p-hex left to sell. that would, if this person is going to do that, that would create all these last little lows that are possible. I'm not saying it's going to happen. I'm saying that makes it possible. It still could be spoofing because maybe that wallet put 300 million to sell, but only sells 50. Makes everybody think more is to be sold, and then that is actually when it reverses, right? So you can't, you know, at the end of the day, I still look at the charts and look at what's possible. Maybe that person wallet's done selling. Maybe they're like, you know what, that's it. You know, to make you feel like there's more to be sold, right? Or they're going to sell the whole fucking thing. I don't know. Because it also doesn't make sense for everyone to now know that's what's coming, and that person slowly selling, right? So maybe they just are going to sell like a little more and then they stop, but you think they're going to sell a lot more, possibly. Good news is why I bought more ETH Fed. Do you think the top has already happened for this cycle? Sorry, I'm just coming over a little cold. I don't believe it or not, middle of summer here, we got a cold. It's because we weren't sleeping. I'm telling you, man, we were tossing and turning. It was so hot. We had the heat wave here in Europe. I just got a little cold because I couldn't sleep. Like woken up all through the night, sweating my ass off. William, I'm open to that. I don't think so. I drew that we could have a pullback here, but then I think we go up. I think we're going to see more of like a whipsaw distribution is my feeling about it. Because these guys are very good at doing distributions. That's the hallmark of institutions. They're probably not going to do a blow off top because that would be too easy for unsophisticated traders to get the hang of. This is going to fuck up the most people, something like this. That's why I draw this as my first choice, but obviously I update it and change it if this isn't what happens. But we go to 115, or no. I mean, we're at 115-ish, which is where I think we get our rejection. We come down. And we go to an odd place, or maybe we come down and we follow just this trend line. We come up to like 130, which is a 1.414 fib. We come down again. Every one of these, based on your quote, William, every one of these people, there's people that are going to think that this is the start of the recession. Oh, this one's the start of the recession. Oh, this one's the start of the recession. So if I was a market maker, I would give a ton of opportunities for people to think that, versus if I just keep pushing it up. You know what I mean? Then people are like, oh, there's no recession. But if I keep turning it after massive pumps, and my traders are smart. They know how to trade these in and out, right? So they're going to make the same amount of money, if not more, while the retail is going to lose money because they're not used to this type of patterns. But each one of these psychologically, retail will be like, oh, it's the start of the bear market. Oh, it's the start of the bear market. So this might be what they do. So you go up to 130, but from there, it doesn't keep pushing up to 180 or whatever. It pulls back down again, but it goes even lower than it did the first time. But then it pumps up even more higher than it did before, right? We hit that fib, or we hit 180 finally, right? And then it comes down. I mean, who knows? This could be possible. And then this would form like a head and shoulders, then obviously, right? Some kind of head and shoulders here. And then we'd finally go into the bear market. But then it could stop somewhere and start again. I think something like this could be very possible. So if in that case, what I'm saying is that I don't think the top is in, because I just feel like market makers could just they could keep squeezing this, man. I think there might be more. And there might be more. The one thing I do think that is possible, that a lot of people aren't talking about, is if they do bring the market to a close abruptly. So maybe maybe BTC pumps, maybe ETH pumps, but maybe they have something ready for us where they make sure it just ties up very quickly at the end. I don't know. Let's see what happens when we get closer. I don't want to start screaming obscenities. But I am still bullish in the sense that I don't think this is it and it's over. But look, anything's possible. But I don't think it is. I think there's more upside. But I do think it's going to be hard to put a finger on. So I'm thinking more of a distribution like this. It'll be just what we had in 2021, but a different pattern. 2021 was also a type of distribution. It was very effective. It might be more like the second half. Could be. Maybe. Let's see. I just finished a 3-day fast, distilled water. Nice, man. Fasting is key. Fasting is key. I got sick. When I got really sick, I don't know if you remember a while ago when I got the flu. I got really freaking sick. And I had COVID, actually. And, oh, fuck, I said it. I got the zombie virus like in March. I don't remember when. It was like March, spring. I got ripped. I didn't eat for a week. I was shredded. I couldn't believe it. I like looked in the mirror. I was like, what the fuck? I was just like 8-pack. And just because I didn't eat for a week. It's honestly, if you want to get ripped, you should be lean to begin with. But if you just fast and drink water, I'm lucky. I just lost my appetite completely for a week. But it is the best. And if you do fast and you microdose and you like do intentional work where you're seeing a therapist, whatever the fuck you're doing, work on yourself, that's what I want to do next. I want to do a phase where maybe I microdose and I fast and just like fill my head with amazing stuff. Just like, yeah, be good. I'm going to start a personal pulse run marathon. I will jog 200K a month until Pulse hit a penny. All right. Somebody fund Chauncey's run. We'll sponsor you for your Pulseathon. Time for some rock hounding and gold panning. My alternative therapy. All right. If Pulse goes up 100x and then goes back to 10x every cycle, guess we are all happy. Yeah, I'd be happy with that. That's great. For sure. Let's see. Where's ETH? What's it doing? Yeah, I think we just hit these resistances. Nothing's really happening here. It looks like it's forming what it did back here in June, right? It may just come up, plop. So I'll have to adjust this a little bit, right? Or I'll have to adjust this a little bit, move this back, right? But that's what I'm expecting, something more like this. Yo, Lucky Luke, what's up? Deerslayer. Deerslayer says, like and subscribe, please. Pretty please. Oof. Come on, bro. If you're going to beg, I'm going to tell them, I don't want you to subscribe. If we have to beg, we just don't do it. Take your likes and subscribes somewhere else. Katie, what's up? Cancel the bear, bit finesse. I'm so far behind, I don't even know what you guys are responding to at this point. I'm at home. I was at depression yesterday. Retail sentiment still checked out. Retail's not here. They're not here. But they can bring retail back pretty easily, but don't let anybody trick you. There's no fucking retail here. They're long gone. I told some normies BTC just made zero response. You don't tell. I don't tell anybody, bro. I don't tell girls I date. I don't tell anybody I'm into crypto. After Farcoin, got beat the GDP of most small countries, no one's going to take you seriously if you tell them you're in crypto. Because that's all they think. You say I'm in crypto, they think Farcoin. Coin's breakout's going so slowly. This is the slowest breakout in history. I replied to an account on Twitter that posted a video in which Richard Hart said his business partner is rocket scientist. The rest of the video claimed he's referring to the ATROPA dev. Yeah, that's what I've seen 2 years ago, and that's why I was really into pdai and ATROPA and these narratives, because I think I remember seeing something like that too. I think they're working together. Hex was bonded like PTGC and UFO are. But not working together in the sense they just might be working for the same goal in a lot of ways. But they could be. 15K was a 29 bottom price in M2. Interesting. I know what you mean. Posted it quite honest. FDIC going crazy. What does that mean? Gig gaming? FDIC going crazy? Oscar, what's up, brother? Thanks. Really appreciate that. Oscar says, I'm the man. Wolf, capital. Fact, Saint. Oh, what are you guys responding to? I'm so far behind. Is Pulse? I'm kind of in disbelief still as well. Feel like alt and PulseChain could continue to chop through summer and kind of hoping that's the case. Want to DCA more. Yeah, you want to DCA more? I want to lay on the beach more. So either way, it's good. I don't mind. Is Pulse in depression? Yeah, I think we're entering depression because somebody made a good point that there was a lot of angry videos and tweets last month. So that would make sense that we would enter depression. Euphoria was Pulse X SAC. Yeah, you're right, bro. You're right, Moondog. It was. Complacency was 2 more weeks. Depression SEC case resolved, but still feel sideways. I think maybe that's what the anger is. The SEC case is resolved, and nothing happened, so people got really angry. I'm in guest bedroom with the lights off, with a candle burning, listening to Gregorian chants. My man, Gregorian chants are awesome, dude. You got to listen to Gregorian chants. Take like a gram of shrooms. I think McKenna recommends 5, but that's a lot. And he also died 50 from some brain issues, so maybe he did too many. But Gregorian chants are powerful. I love that stuff. I'll throw on stuff like that sometimes, especially with like girls I've just met, and I'll try to scare them off. They're like expecting me to put on the weekend. I'll put on like Gregorian chants. It's awesome. And then I can't get them to leave. They're like freaked out at first. No, I'm a arm RWM work. Jason Darpa, what? Drunk at work again. You drink before work? What do? Work at the post office? Give us the lows, lol. One bull run, 2 more weeks. What time is it? It's 9:44, so market. We'll go look at the charts again. I want to see what's going on. Time to lock in our life. You go. Some of the homeless in LA have those bodies. Florida man's always rip. I bet 10 gram shroom trip hits hard as fuck during a week fast. Oh shit, dude, that's a lot of shrooms. Oh, sorry guys, I had this. It's really bright. We'll go look at some X posts, and we'll come back to some charts. This guy's cool.
Less problems than you. The happiest people in the world don't have less problems than you. They just have a purpose that's bigger than their problems.
Yeah, that's it.
That's why the Apostle Paul, he has more problems than any of us. Like, we're going to kill you. We're going to torture you. You're going to sit in this prison cell. Yeah. And he's just like, I'm good, man. Because if you torture me, well, then I don't consider the sufferings of this present world worth comparing to the glory that's going to be revealed to me. If you put me in a prison cell, fine. The happiest people in the world don't have less problems than you. They just have a purpose that's bigger than their problems.
Yeah.
I fucking love that. It's so true, man. It's so true. A lot of people complain about dumb shit, and I'm just like, you just have no purpose, man. You don't have something bigger you live for, or people you live for. Like, if you had to keep elderly parents alive or feed kids, or you were just responsible to take care of a community, you would complain about a lot less shit. You would take shrooms and get your life together. You would lock yourself in your room, take 5 grams of mushrooms, no food, just water, and come out a week later a changed man. All right? Ketamine therapy, you can't get a prescription for it, but I highly recommend that too. But do it with a doctor. IV is the best way to do it. FDIC insurance contracts going up. It's on your watch list. FDIC is moving. Really? Anyone aware of Taurus launching tomorrow? Quality project? No. I don't know much about it. Wait, do I know much about it? Actually, I do know a little bit about that. They write that BTC will fail, rise, Facebook. Do you think PulseChain will reach a penny? Asking for a friend. FDIC is in the ATROPA spine. Okay, we'll go check it out. Well, I don't know what the connections are anymore and what that does. Like, yeah, there's a lot of things to speculate over there. But I think if you just have a nice bag of ATROPA, you'll do good. There's one on Sol as well. FDIC to what? ATROPA? Or Pulse? I don't know. You guys can drop the link to the chart if you want in the chat. Where are we at? Okay. You guys, this is, okay, I don't know. Is this true for you Americans? I mean, we do have Starbucks here, but I don't go. It's just competing with so many other amazing cafes, so I never go anymore. But check this video out, because I saw this, and it makes me pissed off. Like, I want a refund now for all the times I went to fucking Starbucks.
We're going to do a little experiment, because the guy did his coffee and says everybody's wasting their money buying the ventis, because the venti fits in the tall, and this is the grande. And it makes sense. Look how wide it is. See how much wider? They get wider. We're just going to try it. Not a big deal. Just going to try it.
Try it in the grande first.
Okay.
With the ice? I think it's without the ice.
Hold on. So we're
Oh,
thinking
okay.
it's without the ice. So we'll do grande first. And it's a spill. Let's see if it can happen. Okay. Okay, so there's all the liquid. Okay. Yep. Can you get it out back in? Okay, and then we're just gonna go like this. Oh, so guess what? Y'all are wasting your money on a cup. You're wasting your money on a cup because you feel cool buying a venti.
Oh, she does have ice in there. That's not fucked up. That's not
There's
good.
your venti.
I heard ice.
There's your venti. So guess what? I will.
All right. I don't know if it's true or not. Somebody test it. Okay, let's go back to this chart. You're right. There was FDIC in my thing. I forgot about it. Okay, so it's pumping a little bit. That's normal. You're going to get little pumps here at the bottom. People are trading this stuff. Let's move this stuff around. There it is, right into resistance. No, it's kind of popped out a little bit. Come here, 12 hour. Yeah, maybe I'd give it that. So it's breaking out. You know, if you're keeping up with the ATROPA news, where are you guys getting your ATROPA news from? I know Maria's moved around. When Maria started, they were doing the chats, and then now they're in. So if you're following up with it, obviously you can make some gains by knowing, you know, what the movements are on ATROPA and what the dev's up to. I haven't been keeping up with it, but this is a falling wedge. It's good. It's bullish. If they have a plan for this in the future, of course. Go over here to check. All right, we're gonna. Okay, so you guys were asking about what's going on in Texas. So check this out. All right. This is from Pulse Beat. Shout out to Pulse Beat. Oh, that's not the one. Switch this. So he's saying if the rally continues, 70% chance Ethereum hits 6K before the end of the 2025 bull market. Yeah, sure. And that's possible. I think that's a fair target for Ethereum and very possible. Oh, the fucking ads. Oh,
So I wrote.
As a partner.
sorry about that. I'll start at the beginning. It happens sometimes. Thanks for letting me know. Because the delay, I don't find out till I get your messages. It's like a minute after.
Did you know that Richard
we
Hart
go.
has a partner?
My partner's a rocket scientist, a literal rocket scientist with 250 patents. Polymath badass.
So who could it be? Some say that it might be the ATROPA developer, but there's no way, right? Right?
Are you James or not? Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
My
Rap
name's
Bitcoin.
James
All right,
Osborne.
hang on.
I've been involved with computers since about age 6, 1986. I started in Commodore piracy through my cousin.
Have you heard of TerraPower? Okay. Yeah, so TerraPower is Bill Gates' nuclear company. They have a reactor they're building, and they have a software for the reactor, and they wanted a serial number, like unhackable, so they can release their software.
Okay, and that was the Diffie-Hellman that you were speaking about.
Yeah.
So this is called dysnomia. The idea is to change the way we think about integral mathematics. If you've used Diffie-Hellman and you know what that is.
So I wrote the most elite serial number system in the history of cracking.
It's done jobs for NASA. It's done jobs for giant clients because my rocket scientist co-founder that wrote it has been using it to consult for giant companies for a long time. So that part is already tried and true, tested, 150,000 lines of code complete.
Well, there you have it. Do with it what you please. Maybe Richard Hart is referring to a different badass crypto-loving NASA rocket scientist, right?
Right? Right? Ah, fuck this shit. Oh shit. It's gonna get me fucked. Hello? That's it? Okay. All right. So let me show you this and we'll go look at that WBTC chart. What? Under Los Angeles, a tunnel collapse. Jeez. Dude, Cash. He's dating a massage agent, apparently. I mean, she's hot. What are you going to do? All right. Texas cloud seeding. So apparently, shout out to Stefan Burns. Company CEO speaks out. So they were seeding the clouds in Texas, apparently. All right. It's not confirmed. I'm just going off what the news I'm seeing here. But, yeah, they've been modifying the weather. All right, there's no doubt about it. All right, WBTC. Okay, I think this was the ABC. I think this was the bottom. I think that this was probably the depression. And I think what we've seen here is disbelief. All right. And I did say many times on streams that I was very bullish on WBTC and ATROPA. I was very clear about that they both looked very bullish to me. And okay, so what happens next? So we want to know? All right. Let's look at this chart. I think that it still looks it still looks bullish to me. Doesn't mean we have to like pump to the moon right now, but it could just chop and or continuously gain a little bit of strength. I mean, obviously you have some divergence here. I don't see it on the RSI yet. I mean, it's strong, man. It's strong. It's very strong. Like, would I buy right now? That might be what you're asking. Maybe I'm... I mean, obviously you're getting a little bit of short-term pullback. You see that on the MACD as well. Maybe it does come down a little bit, but it might hold up pretty high support. It might hold up here, you know, around $562. Yeah, you might get a pullback a little bit more, anywhere from as low as 560 to 630. It might go into that range, which would be just in this area right here. But it looks very strong. It's really holding up. It's really good. I think in the bigger picture, I think it continues to move up. So you could start DCing a position even here, even if you get that, like I said, that pull back as low as 600 maybe, or slightly even lower. It's possible, but you could allow a little bit to pull back, but it is strong, man. It is definitely strong. Even if we get a little bit of a pullback, it looks really strong to me. Yeah, and I've been saying that since we were down here, right? So we got that lockout move. It was chopping sideways and slightly up, very similar to what I was showing you guys earlier in the video on BTC. Remember when we came to when I was explaining to you guys where I was buying BTC? Once again, it looks very similar to this, where it's going sideways and slightly up. See that right there? See this right here? If I go maybe to the 12-hour, you can see it better. Okay. And it's kind of an inverse Bart with the Bart Simpson, right? It's like the Bart Simpson head, but upside down. Same thing here, right? This was like a type of Bart Simpson head. Like right here, the Bart Simpson head. So, and then you've got the lockout move, which is right here, which is just like a quick, swift move, a little bit of pullback. Some people left, bam. Now you had another chance to get back in. Very simple, like you see right here. But that's exactly what you had here in Bitcoin. So it went up, lockout. You got a pullback here, and it still arched and gave you a little bit more. A lot of people got screwed here. They were expecting another big dip. It didn't. And it came up. You got that pullback here. That is the equivalent of this pullback here. So BTC inverse Bart Simpson comes up, tests the supports over here, and then see you later, bye-bye. And same thing, it did the inverse Bart Simpson. Okay, arched over, came back to retest these support and resistance levels over here, and then see you later, bye-bye. I think it's still strong. I really do. I think it's going to look similar to ATROPA and BTC in terms of like you can just make a channel and it may just go up and to the right. It's possible, man. And it could pump even if we dump. Some of these could just continue gaining strength, right? Like WBTC or ATROPA, they could just continue moving up with like certain little fake outs or dumps if people sell. Like you see this dump here, got bought up so fast on WBTC. I should have got more for sure. That's probably the thing you're going to end up seeing common a lot. Like some things I'm like, man, I should have gotten more for sure. Like I said, yeah, that range I gave you, maybe you get some of this to backfill, 550, maybe 600, 630. But to be totally honest, it's 677 right now. I would, if you were trying to build a position, I would feel comfortable starting to build one here. That's what I'm saying. I would feel comfortable starting to build my position where I don't see any big issues, like even though it could pull back a little bit, but it looks strong enough where it could also just chop sideways and or just continue up a little bit. It doesn't have to go euphoric right now. It just could continue to gain strength, just like BTC just continued to gain strength until the ETF was announced, right? And then it went nuts. So what'll happen with some of these is people will ignore them. They're just going to keep slowly going up, 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 up. And then one day they'll announce something like, oh, ATROPA is going to do this, or WBTC is going to head to parity, and then it'll really go euphoric, right? But I would think this should go to parity because it would be great marketing for the chain, which is what I've said, I think, in all my videos I used to make about WBTC. What's up, Music Addict? DCA is the best play. Yeah, you're going to get some pullback this weekend, I would say, for sure. Especially because we're up at resistance and we didn't pop through it. Let's go back to BTC. Let's see. We're at 113.3. I think if we didn't pop through it, we're going to do... Maybe we do what I drew here, right? So, which is we get that little pullback. I just drew this as possible. It doesn't have to be this deep a pullback. You could literally just pull down here to 105 or I think 100. We've got a lot of support. So this is just the most I could see really happening, which is like 95. But that would be a pretty big pullback. You could just, yeah. Yeah, WBTC. Hang on one second. What if it, no. Huh. Yeah, no, I could just keep gaining strength. You got a ghost. Did a lot of big March when we were at bottom. Missed yesterday's morning's dip by 5 minutes. Brizology. Well, take your profits. Don't put any into the next sacrifice, homie. What? Oh, Briz, what's up? How you doing? Legitimately hyping myself up. I'm rethinking my exit strategy, meaning I'm now planning on waiting longer for higher gains. Damn, what's happening? Good to see you. Frank White, what's going on? Can't wait for you to make ticker SWV coin. Same with Vision coin. There you go. That could be fun. Wait. Oh, am I that far behind? Where are you? Oh, because we talked about ink. That's why Briz showed up. We were talking about ink and deep. And it's so funny he showed up today because the last couple streams we didn't really get into ink and he didn't show up. Today we talked about ink. He showed up. NJ says, "Did you chart Hex yet?" Or I did chart a little bit. You know, there's somebody selling a lot right now. Tam. Yeah, you don't want to look at it right now. It's not looking great right now. NJ says, "Oh my God, if you guys just put all the money you waited 4 years to make into this new project, you'll be more rich." You're not catching me doing any dumb shit like that. Grab, what's up? You will sack for the RH wallet. Yeah, you guys better sack for the RH wallet. What's up, Luna? We love you too, Tam. Tam, don't look at the hex chart right now. Okay, let's look at ETH really quick. What did it do? Did it do anything? Dixie's just hanging out. I think the Dixie needs a bounce, man. That's the thing. Dixie needs a bounce. ETH, looking good. I'm still expecting this. I really am. You know. I mean, to be honest, if that happens, this would be pretty sick because I would just be off by a little bit. Like I would just slightly move this drawing and then it would match the price action, right? So let's see what happens. Let's see. What's up, Dane? Buy the dips, my dudes. One day pdai pegs and PWCs matching parity. We're all retired, living our best lives, man. Elbow cough. Elbow cough. Oh, I shouldn't be slouching. All right, how long have we been streaming for here? Over 2 hours. Not much has happened. I mean, it looks to me like they're about to be rejected there this weekend because we're going into the weekend now. What's DJT is looking great. So market's good. Market's great, man. Yeah, this is all you need to know. This is pushing up. I think maybe we get a little pullback. I don't think the bear market's here unless something happens, of course. But one of these pumps, we're just gonna keep going. So gold's up. What's I drawing here? What the fuck is that? Okay. Gold. Oh, because my targets are up here, man. Like a lot of people talked about gold being done. My targets for gold are 37.59 and 4,100. So this might be the top when gold gets up here. And I think gold could keep pushing up too. So you got some PX today? Well, good. It's great prices right now. I was saying that earlier too. That you want to keep DCAing. These are great prices. You don't want to wait for a low that could never come. We're quite low. We're down there. PTGC about to print. He's saying Dow Jones. Thought you were talking about Trump for a second. Teach out Donald J. Trump. Did it? Let's go look at Jesus. They really are crushing the alts, huh? I could tap on any alt. They're just objectives, all right. This is not. It's down, but. But MicroStrategy looks like it absolutely looks like it can be primed for another massive run, okay, which is great sign for the bull run because this front runs Bitcoin by a few months, okay? So if this was looking like it was falling apart, we'd be in trouble. But it does not look like it's falling apart at all. As a matter of fact, it looks like it's primed for a major move to the upside. A major fucking move to the upside. But it could come a little more sideways, I suppose. Maybe when's this touch? End of July? Yeah, man. I think dude, it could be 2 more weeks. Pups, 2 more weeks, we could be talking moon time. Could be really close. Let's go look at, we did ATROPA, WBTC. We did Hex. We did PulseX, INC. What else is over here? G Baby. Teddy Bear. BFF. Green. Let's see. Yep. This is pretty much that lockout move, right? That's why I had that drawn. It did. It went sideways and then just slightly higher highs, then pop. Look at that. $3,800 a token. It was down here at, what was it down to? It was down to like 1,800, right? A token. Damn, look at this old drawing. I nailed it. Fucking perfect. To the T. This is a bullish hammer. This is going higher, guys. So it came, dude, the low for BFF was $730. It's at $3,800. Guys, there's a lot of money to be made on PulseChain right now. Like, look where ATROPA was. ATROPA had come all the way down to half a penny. It's at 12 cents, guys. That's a 6x. That's a 6x. Okay, BFF just did a 5x, a 6x too. In August, yeah, that could be a good bet. It could be August. I'm going to throw this out there. This is my first bull market. I invested a decent amount of money and currently holdings are rough. PulseX, PX, pdai, INC. How am I looking? Bro, you're looking good, man. Looking good. You got nice bags. I think you're going to do good. You're going to do great. Get more ink, though, Dane. Dane, you should get more ink. Other than that, I think you look good, bro. I have a feeling we really start puffing on in August. Yeah. Not bad, bro. Like getting back. It's like, just need a Westcott crypto stream for confirmation. Brazology. Why? What is there a joke there? Wolfish Wolf, interested in your take on pdai. Oh my god. My channel was built on the backs of on pdai originally. Well, look, man, it did the inverse head and shoulders, played out, went and back tested the breakout. It has no liquidity, man. I mean, I know it has liquidity, but it's very low liquidity. I don't want to repeat a lot of stuff. I think I've said a lot of stuff about this already. Hot duck. So should I let the stream go until market close? See if anything happens. So it's 10:12. So it means it's 4. So market's going to close in what? 15 minutes? 20 minutes? Westcott had a legendary stream roasting Marco the Mexican because he promoted. I don't know who these people are, man. Marco, I don't know who that is. I know Titan X. Yeah, I know some people in Titan X. Oh, I think I have the chart around here. I was looking at it. Let's go look at it. Look, man, I have a rule. I don't work with anything that has the word Titan in it. Titanic, Titan X, the Titans. It's a mythological word. It ends badly in the mythos. Why, in all of God's grace, would somebody name something after a ship that sunk and gods that destroyed the world? Why would you do that? I don't know. Names matter, right? You guys know that. There's companies will consult and spend millions before they name shit. Which apparently these guys did not do. But this is good. This is a falling wedge, to be totally honest. This could absolutely break out. There's a strong community here. But, so it could fly, But I think you guys will do better on I think you guys are going to do better on PulseChain. For sure. 100%. Because names matter, man. Names, numbers, I think they do matter. Here's thoughts regarding 9-inch and BBC. I don't know anything about. I've only met Hexy once, and I don't really know anything about 9-inch and BBC. And I'm sorry, I don't use that exchange. I just have it. I've just only been using PulseX. Also, because I've been burned in crypto, man. I've been rug pulled. I got caught up in Celsius. I just got to a place where I was like, you know what? That's it. Just Richard Hart shit. That's all I'm doing. I mean, I do other stuff too, of course. I branched out, but she's awesome. But I just haven't gotten to play with it. You know what I mean? I didn't play with his BBC. I generally don't play with BBC. Do you have an opinion up and up? I don't know anything about those either. Up and up X. I have met the founder though. He's a nice guy, really nice guy. The Titanic didn't sink; it was the Olympic. Deerslayer. That's not the point. But that is true. I do believe that conspiracy theory that maybe it was. But either way, as far as the mythos goes, it was the Titanic. It was the name that sunk. Right? That was the chosen word to sink. Nothing good ever comes from Titans. It's true. That's why you got to do 100%. Names do matter. Look, a lot of willpower to ignore Hex's name. Yeah, that's interesting, right? It's cool in a numeric way, but it's also in an esoteric way. It's not necessarily good. It's interesting. It's really interesting. And I think ATROPA, same thing, right? It's cool in a biological sense or in some ways, but in other ways it's not a good flower, right? Or something. There's a push-pull in there. ATROPA and Hex, yeah. Oh man, I really rushed over here to the office. I was like, is it gonna happen? Is it gonna be? And I'm like, no, because you do TA and you're like, okay, I have prejudice to like thinking it's gonna do what I think it's gonna do, but I have to be ready for the fact that I could be wrong. Maybe we do pop out, but it looks to me like we are going to be rejected here, which means going into a weekend with a rejection on Friday, we could get this pullback. And once again, I want to reiterate, I'm not saying it's going to be this deep of a pullback. That's just a possibility, but it could be anywhere in this range. It could be tiny. We could go to 110, it could be 105, 100. I don't know where it'll be. We got to look. Let's see what happens and who sells first and how much volume goes into that. And then I can think about how deep a pullback could be. But either way, it'll be a little bit. And I consider this just chop because I'm anticipating a distribution, to say it again. So we'll go up and we'll hit these some of these fibs. We'll eventually hit the 130, which is 414. Then we'll hit the 180. This is the only chart he showed. Triplet dad. That means a lot, man. That means a lot, brother. I really appreciate that. I think it is too. There's some other talented people out there, but they just get you caught in the weeds of technicals. I try not to get you guys caught up in too much, like, oh look, it did this and it did this and da da da. Like I see that stuff, but it's not gonna help you. You guys just want to know where the price is going next. So I just draw it. I just keep it simple. You should watch mine. It's a better show. My charts can only go up. See what happens. Understanding cycles is tough and like how this thing moves. But if you can, this isn't going to help you trading per se, but I know you guys aren't doing pip to pip trading, or you're not like, even if I trade, I'm not doing hourly charts. I'm not doing like, that kind of trading, but it'll help you understand like how to position yourself in the cycle and like, okay, should I DCA in here or whatever? And you can certainly see a rhythm going all the way back here to end of 2022. We're in this channel. We haven't moved from it. This has been the most easiest Bitcoin cycle there has ever been. It's just been up and to the right. That's it in this channel. That's it. It's been amazing. All you had to do was buy it and chill. Yeah, 130, 180. How come the chat doesn't show the emojis? All right, let's go back to, we looked at WBTC. Go back to this over here. This is real. This is not AI, by the way. I mean, it's so weird. It doesn't look real, right? It doesn't look real. But it is real. It's amazing. I think it dances better than I do. That's a good question. Has anyone heard from Koza Dev Alex? This is crazy. No, it's not true. It's not true. I think more men will be having sex with robots because we actually just like sex. Girls like sex too, but they like the emotional connection. Maybe they'll connect with robots. Funny if like the robots AI figured out what girls actually liked, and they started emulating behavior of men that girls actually like, and then people would finally realize like what guys have been saying forever, like how counterintuitive it is with ladies and how they're drawn to the worst guys. Feel bad for BitBoy. Always stay focused, away from drugs. Humble. Nah, the drugs are a manifestation of who he is. Drugs ain't nothing, bro. Drugs ain't nothing. I know some of the most successful people I ever met in my life I met them, you know, in rooms with mountains of cocaine and hookers and what have you, man. It has nothing to do with any of that shit, dude. I've hung out in Manhattan and Brickell with extraordinarily successful people, and doesn't affect those people at all. Amazing people, you know. He's not a good person. Okay, what you're seeing is a physical manifestation of who he is. I mean, some cultures call it karma. I just call it a physical manifestation. Like, all your thoughts, who you are, is going to manifest itself. Okay, that's why on a long enough time scale, you can spot people that are like real people, like good people. Good isn't like, not like, you know, you're not like some weird like goody two shoes, but you have a good core, right? He doesn't have a good core, and you're seeing that exposed on the outside. Because he wants to consistently take from people. I'm not going to get into like the breakdown. I don't like following consistently, but I can identify like characters about people pretty quickly. I think because I've been exposed to all kinds of people in my life, so I can identify people, and you can plot a trajectory for people pretty quickly. You know, like they're saying, you know, money brings out like who you really are. You start to see things, you know, and it's not that people just become good or evil. You just see the more exposed manifestations of aspects of their personality multiplied. You know what I mean? Yeah, he did bad things to his family. He's not a good guy. And I don't need to know what he did. I can see his face and how he's turning out. You know, you know the tree by its fruit. All right? This is just like old peasant knowledge. You know the tree by its fruit, man. You know. And yeah, it's sad. What's sad is people keep propping him up or giving him attention. You know what I mean? And that's the worst, right? Yeah, money amplifies the dark side of personality too if it's not healed and fixed. Yeah, it amplifies every aspect of your personality, the good and the bad, the hidden, the shadow, your shadow side will come out. And, you know, we all have a shadow, and you have to embrace part of your shadow, right? Like I have the name Saint Wolf, right? So my shadow's in there. You know, I've embraced parts of me. You know what I mean? And try to be a holistic person with it. But like, Wolf, you think that's fixable though? Like, you become good? Yeah, I believe in redemption. That's one of the reasons I consider myself a Christian, or why, like, one of the biggest reasons that's such an important part of my life, because I 100% believe in redemption. Not because I believe there's good in people, but I always believe that the soul deserves time to like recognize. You know what I mean? It doesn't mean that I have to forgive, even though I should, or something like that. But each person deserves the opportunity to find, you know, the path and bring their soul back to the light, you know? And that's redemption. Yeah, I think it's really important, you know? And hopefully he gets to do that. His physiognomy. Yeah, you can see it. Yeah, you can read a lot when you guys, if you learn. I did used to study body language and stuff, so like you can read people's past decisions in their composition, in the way their face hangs. You know, you can tell if somebody smiles a lot or doesn't by like where the lines are on their face. As you get older, you see it, like, oh, this person's had, you know, brings good joy to people's lives, or they don't. You know, this person's always frowning like in a shit space. Even if someone fakes it, you know, they try to like fake it, you can see it on their face, like, nah, you know, a real smile, a fake smile, like, and you can see his face. You can see the inside world now coming out on the face very quickly, very easily. Sometimes a fruit looks beautiful. When you take a bite, you'll find out it's made of plastic. Yeah, I think that's like the number one thing you learn too as a guy, and you get older and you become more in demand, because it is true, you know. But then you see girls differently too, because you're like, okay, you know, because, you know, Jesus Christ suffered horribly, was tortured, rejected, died on a cross as payment for the sin of the world. He was resurrected, conquering death, so that all who believe in him may have eternal life. Yeah, something like that. Yeah, Wolf, Romans 5:8. But God demonstrates his own love for us in this: while we were all still sinners, Christ died for us. Yeah, man. Yeah. Because you know what? No matter what somebody does, grace is still offered for that person. That's why redemption's important, because, you know, grace never stops. No, yeah, don't eat McDonald's. Don't eat McDonald's, guys. All right, look, chemtrails are a real thing. Somebody has found chemtrails, and so, you know, when you see this video, you just can't deny it anymore.
Look at you, you're taking me out.
Oh, I can't play the song. Look, they're everywhere now. Every video, anything you do, you can see them up in the sky. Tons of chemtrails. There it is, staring you right in the face. So this robot, cloud seeding. What's going on here? Jesus. Marketing is crazy. The whale dumping must hate us to the core, and he enjoys his sadistic power over us. Still dumping after cashing out tens of millions allows no other conclusion. I would assume at this point it could be either somebody who just has so much, or it could even be market making going on, where this is like timing is suspect. A mysterious user joins pdai Teller wait 7 days. Watch the chart. Come on, guys. I will say, yeah, you guys are really being manipulated a lot. It's financially in the best interest of very massive bag holders too. Yeah, most is cool. I think that pump is the best. Oh, there it is. How I started. How it's going. This is who he really is. This is the real person. This is not. See, the average person gets fooled easy. That's why you can trick people. This is who you think he is. This is the real person inside the whole time. Such weird stuff. This is awesome. What's this? Everything's like immigration. Okay. Oh, what the heck's this? Man, it's Friday night. 113,000.
The more you commit yourself to becoming the best person you can be, the more you like yourself and respect yourself, the more energy you have, the bigger goals you set for yourself, the more you persist. When you invest in yourself and you read and learn and upgrade your skills, you're telling yourself, wow, I am a person with a great future, and it's up to me to maximize my potential. And your self-esteem goes up, your self-respect goes up, your sense of personal pride goes up, and you started to get promoted more and paid more in every part of your life. The more you commit yourself to becoming the best person you can be, the more you like yourself and respect yourself.
That's the key, man. That's it. That's an important lesson right there. All right, we can go back and look at the charts, but I think things, what we're seeing now is heading into the weekend. That's it. This might be all we got. Okay. can check that. See what the SPX did really quick. Man, look at this thing. Jeez. You guys think it's a double top? I don't know. Yeah, I think maybe we get this little pullback, and then we're going to come to this support. Where's the support? Right here. Come to this support. And then this might be... Okay, so I'm just going to tell you guys. Who else is here in chat? You guys, smash the like button. Everybody smash the like button. I love you guys. Welcome to PulseChain. I love you. Welcome to After Hours Live. I love you. But the like button won't smash itself. Dumping whale hates himself. I don't see any chemtrails. All right, so what could happen is, we could get this last little bitty pullback. A lot of people are probably going to call for, maybe it goes slightly lower than we think, just so the all the doomsday people can be right, and they can all show up again and be like, look, that's it. We're going into the greatest depression in the history of mankind. Black swans, right? Was it like all these crypto channels were like, there's a black swan coming on the 4th of July. It's like, what? So maybe we get this little pullback. Everyone's like, I told you so. And then we but then we start going. This would be September. We get really bullish. We pop out. And then we could be entering a period like the Roaring 20s, where even though things are a lot of things are falling apart or what have you, we just keep going up, man. We just keep going up. And the bull run just is crazy explosive. Like, don't think that we're just going to have a blow off top and end in October. Like, we don't know that. We don't know the target's 130, 180. Like, I'm just putting targets I have right now based on what we've seen. But what if we do get something? What if it goes to 180, comes back down to 130, and then it just, that's enough of a recession? Because that's a pretty big drop, right? 180 to 130. But then we keep pushing up. Let me go back to Bitcoin really quick. Let me just show you guys. Because I think market's going to close. Market's closed, man. That's it. So we're going into a weekend, so we'll probably get some little bit of a pullback. So imagine you get something like this, right? And we top out, what's this, 180? That's November, okay, where I drew this, 180, okay? And it pulls back. And it pulls back to 95 or 100 or maybe it even just 130. Maybe it only comes back to 130. But what happens is we just kind of like hang out. And everyone's expecting the big drop, but it never comes. And then we start ripping again. That is like what happened in the Roaring 20s. And then we just continue up again into 2027. And in 2027, we hit 350K on BTC, which is what I was saying before. I was like, we could have a weird bull run where we just go until 27, 28. And maybe it just continues up even further. And then, or maybe you get a little drop, but it's a little drop. We don't actually have like a big crash until, who knows? Because if you look at the SPX, and in April we got this tariff dump. The tariff dump was huge. That kind of reset all the charts. We literally came all the way back here to 2021 and tapped the highs. So the chart's kind of good in a way. Like, conditions are meant to just continue up, really. So we could have a type of Roaring 20s where everybody's in disbelief. Everyone feels like the average person's broke, but we just keep going up. We just keep going. And then you've got the case for, PulseChain now doing 1,000x, 2,000x, 5,000x. Who knows, right? Does something crazy. You guys are awesome. The net highest longs or shorts in the market will be liquidated before the next move. Yeah. So, for those who survive till now and through the summer or whatever, and it could be really amazing. We may not have a big dump or crash. It could be a lot of distribution as we just keep going up. It's important to keep that kind of in the back of your head. That this could be the super cycle. Because a lot of people are talking about how it could be very similar to the Roaring 20s. And if we have a recession, it'll be like 3 months and short-lived. And Bitcoin, if it does touch 180 in November, it may not go below 130 or 100. Which is pretty much where we are now. So anyone's like waiting, like, you know what, I'm going to buy it later in the crash or the recession. Fine, the recession comes, but maybe the price never gets much lower than we are now. Which means like once we pump and we get past sack price could be the floor at that point, and then we do Or who knows, man? It may not. We may already be higher than SAC. Yeah, we could be 10x SAC, and then it pulls back to like 2-3x SAC, and then that's the floor. So you guys will all be pretty wealthy by then, or you'll have pretty. You'll be good. You'll be good. You'll have done well for yourselves. Oops. All right, guys. I'm going to try to stream. I don't know. You guys want me to stream tomorrow? Tell me in the Telegram if you guys want me to stream tomorrow. I'm open to it. I want to catch all the moves going into July. Or I'll just jump back on Sunday if you guys want. But stop by the Telegram. Let me know what you guys want to do. I can always jump on really quick because I've been just jumping right into the charts, right? So it's a lot faster for me when I don't have to compile a lot of news, to be honest, right? The news can be fun. It's fun when we have time, but, today I literally just turned it on, got in the charts. We do have to continue that liquidity thing. I want to learn liquidity. I know a lot of you guys get bored of that stuff, but I want to get through the crypto slots videos. Also, Crypto Coffee made one on liquidity. Maybe we'll watch that one too. So maybe I'll kick it on tomorrow and we'll just learn some stuff. For those of you who are down to just learn some nerdy blockchain stuff. Because I know trading, I understand price action, how it moves, but I still have more to learn about what's happening on the chain, with liquidity, with crypto and all that. I still got more to learn there. Stream once the rain has finished, Wolf. Don't trust Zayla. Good stream. Thanks, buddy. Appreciate it. Hell yes. Yo, Deerslayer. You brought your friend Leonia, Richter? You're going to take care of her in the burqa? That's awesome. They're literally promoting, because it fucks with your head. You're like, oh, I want to get rid of this person. They're just spamming. But you can't because they're wearing a burqa. Is that what's going on? Are they just shelling? Ghost, what's up? You got it, buddy. Nice to meet you. Everybody smash the like. Come to the Telegram. Wait, she's gone. The Shillers are getting smart, man. They're really getting smart. They're getting good. Oh, I see it. Okay, I see. I get a different feed sometimes than you guys. Yeah, learning stuff's good. Let's see. Where are we? One last time. Where's PulseChain? It's just frozen, right? Nothing's moving, right? Because no one's selling. We're out of sellers, guys. I think it's just now at this point, we're really just connected to the market and let the market maker do its thing. Yeah. Yeah, let's expect a little dip. I think a little dip is coming. A dip. I don't know how big it's going to be. But if you guys really want, I'll jump on Saturday. Maybe we'll do a class. Otherwise, I'll see you guys Sunday. You guys are amazing. I love y'all. Don't give your attention away to people that don't deserve your attention. Okay? Your attention and your time is really valuable. Don't give it away to morons and idiots or news that's not worthy of your time. Really focus. Conserve your energy. Because when things get bullish, trust me, you're going to need your energy. So, start practicing now. All right. See you guys. Night.